G'day Matthew, thanks for your video response, it's really good. I particularly enjoyed your joining of the ideas of public space with the idea of the Iraq War and 9/11. The idea, I think, of the spectacle plays a huge role here, where you can divide in a kind of master-slave relationship between the spectacle and the spectator. And these spectacles are often created or contextualized in order to position the audience or the spectator as passive, or to render them passive or silent. And so 9/11 was a spectacle committed by Al-Qaeda to render the Americans silent, to render America silent. But of course it failed. America would not be silenced. They defiantly were enraged by this spectacle. And so the opposite effect occurred. The response, of course, by the American government, the Bush administration, was to create their own spectacle, the spectacle of shock and awe, the blitzkrieg of Iraq. And this was meant to render the terrorists passive. And so often what we see in warfare is a series of spectacles that are trying to pacify the enemy. And I think this master-slave relationship is part of the problem, actually. I think what we have with things like YouTube and the problems of public discourse is that often various leisure activities are positioned as spectacular. You know, the Hollywood movie, the particularly the action sort of thing, video clips, music, the concerts, the theatre, various television shows, the nightly news operate as a series of spectacles which are designed in such a way as to make passive the viewer. They're generally one-way communications. They're generally very high-end, very expensive productions that the user can't match in their within their domestic resource. And so YouTube's kind of interesting in a sense because it's creating spectacle from the ordinary and from and there's a two-way engagement. So the spectator is also the spectacle. And I think when we blur these master-slave relationships, we start to see interesting rational, critical, social activities and productions occurring, which I believe are subversive to the alternative structure. And so, yeah, I was really interested in your sort of relating that. It kind of relates to a couple other things I've been talking about too. The book Multitude that I was talking about talks about how we have gone from a moment of empire, or we are in a transition of a moment from empire to the idea of multitude, a fragmented, globalized community. So yeah, all of these concepts are really cool, and look, I'm really keen to talk more about this with you and hear your response and anyone else's response on these issues. I think they're really relevant. All that stuff that I talked about spectacle kind of comes out of Debord's Society of Spectacle, which is really interesting. It's worth Googling. I was also checking out Rancière, which is a French guy, Rancière, Ranciere, and he has a series of lectures and an article called The Emancipated Spectator, which has informed a lot of my thinking on the subject as well. So yeah, take care, man, and thank you for your response.